final day of the season is here. And the video that I had teased and was sort of hinting at during the Watford review is here. This is the whole point of this video, is to quickly attempt to quickly go through all the permutations of how Sunderland can get into the playoffs in the Championship. And at the start of the season, I never thought I'd be saying that. So, you guys know what's coming. Let's just go right into it. So Sunderland, I'm going to try and look at it from all angles. So, right, Sunderland's task is simple at Preston, as straightforward as it can be anyway. We have to beat Preston. Now, Preston lost to Sheffield United last time out and don't have anything to play for. Now I know I said that about Watford, but the big difference is away from home we actually are quite good, whereas at home we tend to not be so good. Now, yes, there's obviously a risk Preston will want to put a show on in front of their fans for the last game. However, we've just got to go there and just do our bit. Go there, do our bit, win the game, hopefully win the game anyway, and then all we can do is affect our own performance. Like Tony Mowbray has said before, the good thing for us is that we now know a draw definitely won't do it. We have to go to Preston and get a win. So the task itself is simple. Sunderland, however, don't make things simple. So we'll wait and see how that ends up going. But just winning on its own isn't enough for us to get into the top six. We have two other games that are, technically I suppose we have three other games that are vital, I suppose. Swansea-West Brom is the one that's arguably the least important of the games that I'm going to mention, because it's in our hands to finish above West Brom. If we win, unless West Brom win by a 5-goal margin, I believe it is, then we finish above West Brom regardless. So let's say we win 1-0. Mike's just been a little bit funny there for some reason. Say we win 1-0 against Preston. West Brom would then we would be on plus 11 goal difference, which means West Brom, because we've scored more goals, would have to score 6 goals to be above us on goal difference, or to have a better goal difference than us. So it's less likely they're going to do that at Swansea. Obviously, football, anything can happen. It's the final day of the season, but it's less likely. Now with us, if we win 1-0, one of the other scenarios, so the two main scenarios that we can get in the playoffs, there's two main scenarios. Both could happen at the same time, which would be nice, don't get me wrong. But to get 6th spot at least, one of the following two scenarios has to happen. Scenario 1 is Middlesbrough have to beat Coventry. Dog's scratching herself in the background as well. Maybe that's a good omen. Who never knows. Go on, Sansa. We're going to win, are we? Coventry have to lose at Borough. If Coventry lose, say, 1-0 at Middlesbrough, and we beat Preston 1-0, then the goal difference for both of us would be plus 11, but Coventry would fall short of Sunderland because of goals scored. We've scored 65 goals, and at the time recording, I believe they've scored 57. I definitely know out of Coventry, Millwall, Sunderland, Blackburn, and West Brom, we've scored the most goals by some way, actually. So that's in our hands. So we need either Coventry to lose at Borough and us to beat Preston. And by the way, these scenarios have to depend on us beating Preston. If we don't beat Preston, it's game over. The other scenario, and this is probably the game that's obviously on Sky Sports, and for good reason, is Millwall against Blackburn. Now, I said I think it might have been on Mackham in the Middle podcast. I don't even know if that's out at this point, to be fair, as I'm recording this. But on that podcast, I did say we needed Blackburn to draw against Luton. Because if Blackburn lost against Luton, they're 3 points behind Millwall with a minus 12 goal swing on them going into the final day against Millwall at the Den. And that would mean that Blackburn, I believe, would have to win something like 6-0. It might have been 7-0. I can't remember the exact goal swing, but it's something around a dozen goals in Millwall's favour. So Blackburn would have to win 6-0 to be above them, which realistically isn't probably going to happen. So that was if Blackburn lost. Now, thankfully, Blackburn drew the game. So that means they are 2 points behind Millwall going into the final day, and it means that it's in their hands. Finishing above Millwall is in Blackburn's hands now. So if they beat Millwall, they go above them. So basically what we need, if we win, we need one, and the second scenario is we just need Blackburn to get something. I know it's easier said than done because the Den is a hard place to go for a lot of teams. We found that out ourselves a couple of months ago. But if Blackburn get a draw or a win at Millwall and we beat Preston, we jump ahead of Millwall to finish in the top 6 on goal difference. Actually, it's going to be goal difference because if Millwall draw, we finish above Millwall on goal difference. And if Blackburn win, then we finish above Blackburn on goal difference. So, pretty straightforward. If Coventry do lose at Middlesbrough, and Millwall fail to beat Blackburn, and we beat Preston, then we finish 5th. So, that's the nutshell of it. It's basically scenario A, we need either Coventry to lose at Middlesbrough and us to beat Preston, obviously, or we need Millwall to fail to beat Blackburn, and again, us to win at Preston. And if we don't win at Preston, then it doesn't matter. Whatever happens outside of our game doesn't matter. The final thing I'll say ahead of Monday is all we can really do is focus on ourselves. I know it sounds cliched, I know it's boring, but literally all we've got to do is just take care of our own business. Like Tony Mowbray said, getting a draw isn't good enough for the playoffs. We've got to win to have any chance of the top 6. And look, go to win. And if we do win, and it's not enough, so be it. At least you've won the last game, and we can go into the summer saying this has been a phenomenal season in so many ways. Amidst Alex Neil leaving, all the injuries, the recalls, suspensions, whatever it is, everything we've had this season's been great if we don't make the playoffs. If we win on Monday and it is enough and we do get into the top 6, then even better. Even better. But one way or another, the lads are going to have, I think it's like 5,500 to 6,000 fans travelling down to Preston. So I'm going down there with Sean. So I can't wait for it. I'm really looking forward to Preston away. If I had to predict what I think is going to happen before I finish the video, I think we'll beat Preston 2-1. Wouldn't be shocked if we drop points because Preston aren't a bad team. But I think we will beat Preston 2-1. We can't take them lightly. We've still got to go out there and do our bit. But unfortunately, I think we'll miss out because I think Millwall will beat Blackburn and I believe Coventry will get the point they need at Middlesbrough. I hope to God that Sunderland fans come and flood this video on Monday night if I am wrong. Please feel free. If I'm wrong and we do get into the top 6, then flood the comments to your heart's content, as long as you're respectful. But there you go. As you know, guys, trying to get a 5k subs on the analytics. 58% of people who watch aren't subscribed. So if you think I've earned it from you, hit the like button and subscribe. That would mean a lot. One last thing. If anyone knows of any tickets for Jam Sani, because he hasn't got a ticket yet, but he wants to get down to Preston, for him it's local, help a brother out. Help the lad out. He so deserves it. Anyway, I'll love you and leave you there, guys. Hopefully, it's a positive video on Monday at Preston, outside Deepdale. And remember, one way or the other, if we don't make the playoffs, so be it. If we do make the playoffs, fantastic. See you all later. Stay safe and have a good weekend.